Let's hear what Dr. Tony has to say.
Well, hi guys, I hope everything's going well with the conference. In a way I'd like to be there, but I've just got back from Europe and suffering jet lag. Now, first of all, I'd like to do a big plug for Being There, Done That, Try This. I think it's a brilliant book, so please buy lots of copies, and everyone you know needs their own personal copy. But apart from that, anxiety. One thing that those with ASD are very good at is worrying. Constitutionally seem to be natural worries. The survey that was done suggested 86% of the adults have great concern with anxiety. And as Richard said, it's my constant companion. Now, when you've got such intense chronic anxiety, you start to develop particular coping strategies, but also, as Anita says, there's a sixth sense of expectation of negativity and so on. So you're almost constantly hyper-vigilant, waiting for the next negative experience, and that is exhausting. That exhaustion also contributes to feeling depressed. Now, when we look at strategies you may have to manage anxiety, what I call the destructive strategies are becoming either a control freak or an avoidance freak. That is, you want to control your experiences, so that may include becoming quite dominant or non-compliant or avoiding certain situations, because you know that that anxiety is going to be incredibly painful. Neurotypicals often don't understand this because they don't have the same degree and depth of anxiety. Another destructive strategies, the routines and rituals are soothing, comfortable, and predictable. And because they alleviate anxiety and stress, one of the problems is going to be that those routines become greater, and then there's enormous resistance to anything interfering with that. So basically I say, look, when your routines are taking over your life, you need help and treatment for anxiety rather than just focus on the routines. Another strategy is an emotional explosion. It sort of cleanses the system. I call it as rebooting the emotion computer, because this is terrifying for other people. Now there's another component, and that's alcohol and drugs. What alcohol and drugs have done is create a safe bubble of I don't care. It's a level of relaxation that I've never experienced before, but it is incredibly dangerous. I do not recommend self-medication by those strategies. Okay, there must be some constructive strategies. What can we do? In the book, what amazed me were two things in particular. Physical activity. Often those with Asperger say, my main interests are sedentary, looking at a screen, and that lethargy, unfortunately, is not a good idea. So one of the best ways is physical activity, as one person said. Running keeps anxiety away. So please, get a personal trainer. Find someone who can help you with your personality and body type so that you can develop regular physical activity. Is one of the best treatments. It's better than Prozac and it's better than psychotherapy. Now, within the book, diet amazed me because it was so consistent in the responses that a diet free of junk food and using nutritional food seem to improve mood no end. And whether this is linked to the toxic effects of junk food or something to do with Asperger's and metabolism, I don't know. Another strategy that I would recommend is relaxation and the possibility of meditation. Psychologists are becoming more aware of mindfulness, yoga, a whole range of strategies. There are actually books on this now that are written by people with Asperger syndrome who have said this has significantly improved my quality of life and reduced my anxiety. So I do recommend you seriously have a look at meditation. Now, another strategy works, but just be cautious about it, and that's the special interest as a thought blocker. When you're anxious, you get intrusive thoughts and worries about things, and one way of keeping those at bay is to become so engrossed in the special interest you can't feel anxious. And the interest is an energizer, and it's also a source of pleasure. Now, it works, but as with many things at work, use it in moderation, not as your primary way of alleviating anxiety. Now, another strategy is being with animals or a safe person, or especially in nature. Now that may be a beach, it may be woodland, it may be a park in the city. But there is something soothing and relaxing about being in nature, and those with Asperger seem to be very in tune with that. But also what seems to have occurred in the book, that is maturity. The older and more mature people with Asperger's have said, I tolerate it, I accept it, but I don't let it control my life. So maturity may mean there's less of an emotional reaction. So Craig and the audience, those are my thoughts on anxiety.